Sign up to The Economist for in-depth curated expert analysis of world events and topics ranging from business and culture to science and technology. You'll get the weekly digital edition, online-only articles, curated newsletters on politics, the markets, science, culture and China, and full access to The Economist Podcast Plus. The Economist is independent journalism for independent thinking. Go to economist.com and get your first month free.
This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers. Your discretion is advised.
Savaged, unfiltered. Your host, Michael Gardner.
Joe Biden has declared that half of this country are enemies of the state.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. The Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. That is a threat to this country. It's within our power. It's in our hands, yours and mine, to stop the assault on American democracy.
The FBI has launched a full-scale purge of supporters of Donald Trump.
The FBI raided former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home.
FBI agents seized Scott Perry's cell phone.
Mike Lindell says a federal agent seized his cell phone.
Put me in handcuffs, put me in leg irons.
They're coming for you, they're coming for me.
This November, it's freedom versus tyranny on the ballot.
Savaged, unfiltered.
Well, guys, hope everybody had a great weekend. I had a great weekend, busy weekend actually. Actually attended the conference this past Saturday, Melbourne, Florida. Senator Marco Rubio was using a venue in the central area of Florida known as the Space Coast, which is roughly about 25 minutes south of Cape Canaveral. Had a damn good time. The show, well, it actually wasn't a show. It was actually more or less like a conference, though, but they set it up and labeled it as a show entitled Hot Dogs, Apple Pie, and Marco Rubio. So I got some actual good photos of that conference. I posted that on the social media platform of the Savage Unfiltered podcast with Instagram and Facebook. So I hope everybody tuned out to those photos. Got some good photos, about 3. Actually, it was more. It was about maybe 8 or 9, but some of them were just, the way I took it, maybe the freaking angle on it, or I don't know, like the fucking camera I'm using is terrible. But anyway, guys, welcome to today's show. We're going to get into that in a little bit here. I want to get into the main topic of the show. I'm calling it Enemy of the State, the War on Freedom and Liberty, because we're seeing it unfold literally day by day. Day by day. We're going to get into that, guys. I also want to get into a small little brief of a segment here of some asshole that I was on with last week. This liberal nut job. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to give publicity and viewpoints to him because he doesn't deserve the damn platform. I plugged into the show yesterday, a little bit of that. I hope everybody tuned into that. Joseph got a little chuckle, had Joseph Leonard on the show yesterday, so he got a little chuckle out of it. We're going to actually have Joseph back on the panel tomorrow, so you want to check that out. But guys, like I said, I'm going to get into that in a little bit into the show, okay? Because this guy, is just, like I said yesterday, a washed up podcast radio personality of a goon trying to be relevant again. Hey, it's people get to that avenue. It's pathetic on their move to use another for anybody in this industry, to use them as leverage, to try to use it as ratings or viewpoints. Come on, guys. If you're that desperate for views and ratings and you cannot make it in the industry, dude, this industry is not for you. Move along. Stop wasting your time and people that put their time and their effort in to just listen to a podcast. But guys, on the panel today, we got Soslan Gets from his show, Remember God Loves You, and I'll meet you at the finish line. Sos, how you doing, buddy? How was your weekend? Sos.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
It's all right, Sos. What's going on, buddy?
Well, I'm charging my computer because my computer's about to die. So, there we go. Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. How's your weekend, man? How's everything going in the lovely liberal state of Wisconsin?
Well, I've actually been really busy. I got wonderful lineups. I've been networking and stuff, so I've been very busy traveling around. So it's been very busy. I'm back in there. I'm back in the liberal Russia 2.0. It's definitely tensing up with everything that's going on. For the first time ever, the news broke stating that Wisconsin State Assembly, I got this from the public. I went and visited some people last night around Wisconsin, around where I live. And for the first time ever in Wisconsin now, you can do an abortion 4 months after the kid is born. And the kid is not considered a baby. It's considered a specimen until 4 months.
Good grief. That's crazy.
Isn't that disgusting? Who ever thought that we would be in this situation?
Here's my thought on it, Sos, if I may cut in. I just had this discussion with Joseph yesterday on the show. And then I also had a discussion with this liberal goon of a podcast this past Friday, where he was literally attacking me. Oh, come you weren't on my show like on Thursday, and I had to reschedule and this. And I'm sorry, buddy. I do have a family. I do have issues that come up last minute sometimes. I happen to have a commitment in Georgia where I attended a Republican conference in North Atlanta. So I'm sorry, dude. Life comes first before your little peon podcast show. But Saz, here's my thought on it, man. You know how I feel about abortion, okay? And it works two sides, okay? Here's the thing. I believe that the abortion should come into, when a woman does not consent to it. And I'm going to piggyback a little bit off what Joseph and I had said. I'm not sure if you listened to that one part of the segment, but here's what I think about it. A woman has the obligation to get an abortion if she was raped or if it was a form of incest or she did not consent to it at all. It's basically out of her will. It's out of her reach. Then, yes, she has the obligation of electing an abortion. But if we're talking about Sas, like just women and men, right, just having unprotected recreational, sex, and they just get to that level where like, fuck it, I'm just gonna have an abortion, then we're talking about something different, are we not?
Yeah, but at the same time, you're talking about like 4 months, like after the kid is born, like 120 days after it's born.
Yeah, that's premeditated murder. I mean, don't you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the whole thing that I disagree with. If a girl, because here's the whole thing that I'm kind of having a hard time with. Because if this were to pass into law and the Democrats are kind of waiting until Evers gets reelected, and they're waiting until they're projecting that Wisconsin's going to go more liberal than it already is. The fact that because they're going to state that, okay, so on the other hand is, how do you know that they're murdered? Like, how do you know they got raped? Or how do you know that they got all this? Because the biggest thing that I have is, well, anyone can say they got raped at this point, 120 days after it's born. Well, that's like 4 months. Like, well, I don't want this specimen anymore, so I'll just kill it. Like, I'll just say, oh, I got raped, and then it can happen. See, that's the whole thing, is that now you're distorting what is rape, and it's like, now you don't know what to believe. The Planned Parenthood is like, oh, okay, well, if you got raped, well, we'll take care of it for you. Anyway, they didn't get raped,
Yeah. So, yeah, it fits into that whole Roe v. Wade scenario, Sas, where the liberals, like Joseph had mentioned yesterday on the show, this fits right into their narrative. This fits right into their agendas. This is what they're pushing through right now in the new Democratic message.
and it's all women's choice, and that is very sickening. How they're stating that, especially in Wisconsin, they're stating that it's a woman's choice. It's a woman's choice. This like election is based on a woman's choice. Okay, well, don't you have other issues to worry about? Like, why did you let go over 3,500 illegal immigrants, and why did you let go of, like, just veto over 256 bills? Don't you have like something else, like the running on, like, oh, well, we're going to improve the economy? Well, at least run something where like it's not based on a woman's choice, because then you're just targeting one group. And again, it's based on the enemy of the state, and clearly the governor in Wisconsin has done a perfect job of alienating the MAGA Republicans and the Democrats. They've done a perfect job, and we see it, the division in our community. And see, that's the problem that we have onto your show, tied to your show, is the enemy of the state.
And well, this is the true war on freedom and liberty.
Yep.
I mean, they're manipulating the hell out of it, and they're going to continue doing it.
Yep, until we get full compliance, until we give up all of our freedoms, while they get freedoms all they want.
Of course, and this kind of ties into what I was going to go into next. There's some angering, some of it coming in the party, and these Democrats, they want to delay a Senate vote to protect gay marriage, and I think that's.
Isn't that sick? You're more worried about gay marriage than like other problems at hand, like the illegal immigration process, that you're more worried about. Isn't that disgusting? Oh, like we got to save. I mean, that's just that's repulsive, actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is supposed to a decision for this sauce is supposed to be coming out this Thursday, which they want to vote to provide federal protections for same-sex marriage until after the midterm elections in November. Wow, what a coincidence, right? Right before the midterms.
Yeah. Or are they also going to push? Are they also going to like shove in an extra Supreme Court justice? Because I know a lot. I don't know if you heard, but Justice Roberts is resigning on the 30th of September.
I did hear that. And yep. I want to put in here too on notation that your own Senator Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin, and a lead sponsor of the Respect for Marriage Act. Yeah, she has a big push on that.
Yeah. Only, and it's interesting, only in Wisconsin that happens. And what's next? Are they going to protect pedophiles that like, oh wait, that's right, Wisconsin's already pushing to protect pedophiles. You can't call them by their pedophile's name anymore either, because you can get charged with discriminatory hate. So they truly are after the enemy of the state. They truly are after people that like love this country and just absolutely, this reminds me of Russia, like, the enemy.
Savaged, unfiltered.
They push all these radical stuff, and they're there to protect the minority while they're, attacking the law-abiding citizens, and, they're protecting, while they hire Antifa and BLM activists to be the new IRS agents, and that's the enemy of the state.
Terrible stuff. It's getting attention by Republican senators, and some are like, they're getting fed up. I noticed the Republican senator there that's running for re-election, right? You're Ron Johnson. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Here's my question I have for you.
Go ahead.
What do you think? Do you honestly think that we are going to win midterms? Do you realistically think that? Why?
The majority of the Republican Party, you're saying?
Yes. Do you think the Republicans could actually flip the Senate and could actually flip the House? Realistically.
I think you asked this question before, and I don't know, man. I think it's a flippy flop scenario. I mean, right now, if you ask me, how about this? I'll answer the question, but on another scale. Okay. Do I think that there's a very, very strong threshold in the Republican Party right now going for them? Absolutely. Does the Republicans have to worry about the midterms? No. No, they have it in the basket, Sauce. They're going to win the midterms. It's going to be a flip. They may take the House in November, and hell, they might even take the Senate.
Yeah, here's why I think. You're probably not going to like my answer, and here's where we kind of disagree on. I personally think that...
Hey guys, this show is now on Amazon Music and Audible. That's right. Gonna want to check us out on Amazon Audible and Amazon Music. Great set of platforms. We are so honored and grateful to be part of the Amazon team. And we're honored that they are allowing us to be launched on those two major platforms. So thank you to our new friends here on Amazon Music and Audible.
Savaged, unfiltered.
The Republicans will not win the House or the Senate. Here's why. Because the Republicans have been quiet on multiple issues. They have been quiet when the Democrats have accused them of certain issues and stuff, and stating that they wanted to better the economy, that they're saying, well, Biden has done this they pushing the Inflation Reduction Act. They're saying, look what Biden has done, look what they have all done. While the Republicans haven't done anything. They just sat on their hands. For instance, you look at what President Trump did, his statement, Office of the 45, and stating that Mitch McConnell has handed everything to the Democrats, and that the Democrats are using what Mitch McConnell gave and using it against the Republicans. So I am thinking that the Republicans have shot themselves in the foot by not stating anything, by not really standing up and fighting for everything. And when they get called out, all they're looking for is they're just sitting not doing anything. They're just taking the blows, and that's what's just leading. For instance, that's what's leading Tony Evers and Mandela Barnes in Wisconsin, is that they're calling them out on everything. And saying,
here's one thing, Sauce. Here's one thing, right? We're talking about abortions. We're talking about gay marriage and everything else. Just in the state of Florida, I mentioned this on yesterday's show, guys. Check out the episode. Highly suggest it. We got into a segment similar to this, where there's only a small bracket of 3.5% of women that are actually, casting their registration for voting this November. 3%. And guess where it's lead by? Guess what organization is leading this? It's a very small bracket, Sauce.
It's led by the Progressive Democrat Party.
Yeah, but do you know what organization it is?
Planned Parenthood?
Oh, close. It's actually the League of Women.
Oh, figures. Yeah, they're dumb. Yeah,
They're all over the freaking country. They're all over the country. If it's a small bracket, Sauce, of only 3% in each state, even blue states, purple states for that matter, 3% is really not much. So if you have little movements like this where, the League of Women are getting involved, and then you have other little, organizations that come in, the Republicans don't have to fear that they're going to lose the House or Senate. Come on, Sauce. By the end of the day, man, do you think Americans, are going to vote on half of this shit in the country? No, they're going to get fed up, man. You see it in the street every single day.
Yeah, but they're also had opportunities. Wisconsin had the opportunities to pass voter integrity laws to protect the rights of our votes, and nothing has been done. So I think they're going to cheat. I think the Democrats are going to cheat in this election, and they're going to cheat in the next one. That's why I think that that's why I think that Republicans aren't going to have a chance, because they had a chance. The Republicans had a chance in Wisconsin, in Georgia, and in Arizona, and all these swing states to push something to protect their ballots, to push for voter integrity. And what has been done? Know. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was just up in Georgia last week, up in Atlanta, and when I was at that conference that I attended to, I could attest to the message that was being spread in that conference. And half of those Republicans, right? There were very, very well-known Republicans in there. Brian Kemp attended that conference, and just by what Brian Kemp was saying, the really are not fearing right now for their lives of losing any seat. They pretty much have this in the basket. Now, I do want to mention one thing you brought up. There are polls showing some strength by the Democrats. Okay, just a small little poll, a couple little polls. But like we were talking yesterday, Joseph and I, about polls. There's certain different polls that you have to look for. Sas, they're analysis polls, and then they're companies that lead these polls. You really have to look into the polls to see which poll is accurate and which poll is false.
Mm-hmm.
You have red line polls, you have like your yellow line polls. You really don't know which to believe. But with the polls I'm seeing right now, I'm seeing a lot of Americans, leaning towards the Republican movement. There are a lot of purple states right now that are almost flipping red. I don't know if you see that up where you're at, but I see it, down here. There's some, purple areas in Florida that are leaning red right now.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's great. I think that's great that you have. I think we need more people from Florida to move up to Wisconsin, to bring more freedom, to a little taste of freedom.
Well, you just need the right set of leadership. You're electing these buffoons, these goons that really don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's the same crap. It's the same shit, over and over and over. So, there have been, there's a story here I want to get into. I was going to get into it yesterday's show with the Ron DeSantis thing, with sending the migrants up to Martha's Vineyard.
Mm-hmm.
There's some political calculations behind the DeSantis migrant flights. And a lot of media is not talking about this. I want to talk about it just briefly. A lot of people are like, DeSantis could be in violation of using taxpayer money. He could be in violation of having Homeland Security assist it with those flights up there. I don't know, Sas. What do you think? Do you think he, obviously we touched on this like not too long ago when I had you on the show, but do you think that, DeSantis was in the right move of doing this or?
Oh, absolutely. Why not? It's his state. Don't you guys pay taxes in Florida? Don't you guys utilize what you guys pay taxes? I mean, I'm all 100%. I support what DeSantis is actually doing. I support what he is doing because he is fed up with this so-called Biden administration. And you're seeing that. You're seeing Texas just being fed up with it and say, you know what? If the federal government doesn't want to take care of the problem at hand, then we will. I think it's fantastic. And we all pay taxes, don't we? Some of us in Wisconsin, we pay taxes. And it's going $50 million just got donated to Planned Parenthood. So we are funding Planned Parenthood. And we just accepted another 50,000 Afghanistan refugees to Toma, Wisconsin, which we can't support. But thank goodness that our tax dollars, Governor Evers is using our $600 million that he's allocated. So making sure that they get $2,400 a month, that they get food stamps and EBTs, while our veterans on the streets. We just had a suicide in our hometown of a veteran that he couldn't pay his bill, so he said, "Well, there's no purpose." So you're seeing that, and I think there's no violation. We're in violation. The federal government is in violation for not upholding the Constitution of protecting the country from domestic terrorists from within, because a lot of people don't know this. That Venezuela, I sent this article to you, that Venezuela has emptied out the prison systems and implanted violent criminals into the crowds that are coming into the border, that are coming up through the border, and they're going now across the 50 states. A lot of people don't know that what Venezuela just did and all these third world countries are doing. And and that's the problem that is at hand. And that's a huge mess up. And that's why I support what DeSantis is doing. Because he's taking care of the problem. Because clearly the Biden administration wants to turn a blind eye, while Slappy Harris is too busy laughing at the issue. So go for it. I think we need more states taking the responsibility. We need Arizona doing the same thing. We need New Mexico doing the same thing. We don't need California, and we don't need Illinois, busing people to conservative states and busing them all, and thinking that, well, we drop it off on the city councils on other people so we can protect our own neighborhoods that we live in. It's a double standard.
Yeah. A lot of people are, they're saying it's a political stunt and this and that. And, DeSantis and now Kay Ivey of Alabama is joining the movement. And they're saying it's cruel, it's inhumane. It's an inhumane way of treating people who are fleeing communism. Okay. I get it. I really do. I get it. A lot of people are saying, it could be playing with politics with people's lives. I've heard all this nonsense of shit throughout the week, but here's the thing. If we don't protect our communities, right? If we don't protect the livelihoods, like the livelihood of people's lives, right? Thank you, Mackenzie. Get that coffee going because I'm slurring my words today. It's going to look like a shit show. But anyway, Sas, you did send me that clip, man, off the air. I do appreciate that, guys. If you want to see exactly what we're talking about, check this clip out, courtesy of Soslan Gets. Thank you very much for plugging that in, Sas, to me. We're going to plug that video in right now, guys. Check that video out.
Defiant, New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell is refusing to pay the city roughly $29,000 she charged this year to upgrade her city air travel to business and first class.
All expenses incurred doing business on behalf of the city of New Orleans will not be reimbursed to the city of New Orleans. One thing is clear, I do my job, and I will continue to do it with distinction, with dignity and integrity every step of the way.
Quote, my travel accommodations are a matter of safety, not of luxury. As all women know, our health and safety are often disregarded, and we are left to navigate alone. Anyone who wants to question how I protect myself just doesn't understand the world black women walk in.
Homicides, carjackings, and non-fatal shootings are all up in New Orleans. Not just this year, but for the last 2 years, according to Metropolitan Crime Commission President Raphael Goyeneche.
Murders are up the same period of time, over 80%. Shootings are up over 100%.
2019 to 2020, the national murder rate increased by 29%, while the rate for Louisiana increased by 35%, and in New Orleans by 67%.
Guys, courtesy of Soslan. Thank you very much, Sos, for sending that to me. Much appreciated. I think it fits the show very accurately because, like I said, guys, we are in a modern version of a Civil War. It's not the Civil War when we've seen the Reds and the blue coats, right? The British, or however people wanted to paint the picture. It's not that same old version of the Civil War. Sas, we're in a modern version of the Civil War. We are seeing political warfare literally melt under pressure.
Yep.
It's about power. It's about money. It's about greed. It's about everything. It's about making a point, going to extreme levels, and destroying the country while they're doing it.
Yeah.
I want to get at something real quick here. Since we're on this topic real quick, supposed to have a guest come in. I'm not sure exactly what the hell with them, but it's okay. I get it. Everybody lives different lives, but a few actually. But anyway, did you see the test? There was a migrant test that came out of, what was it, New York. Mayor Eric Adams was touring this new welcome center for asylum seekers in New York City.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you think about that, man?
That's just sad.
It is.
I mean, and at the same time, he is more. I mean, whoever thought that we'd be in this situation? It's sad. It's sad to see that we have, our priorities have completely shifted and have completely just are in a different direction, and that we're no longer worried about Americans, and that we're more worried about people that are undocumented and that need healthcare and allocating our resources. And I did a special tribute to law enforcement because I was in Indiana, and I was down by Richmond, Indiana, where they brought home Sarah Barton, who was killed by an illegal, documented immigrant that just came up from the southern border, and that he came up from the border, and he brutally killed her, ambushed her, and I was at that parade, and it just struck me with tears. And I'm like, how sad is it that we're paying a price, but it's not, we're paying a financial price, but we're also paying a price by putting our law enforcement in danger because of it. And that's why we're at a civil war. And all we have to say is, well, we welcome everybody. It doesn't matter if you have a criminal record. It doesn't matter if you just killed a person. We all make mistakes. So what Eric Adams is doing is he is endangering his own residents, his own citizens that he protected.
Well, get this, Sauce. Get this. This is coming out of the mayor's office, right? They just said this just earlier today. I was reading this in the New York Times. I don't read that paper. It's full of garbage half the time. But I wanted to see. I was just kind of interested, guys. I was more or less curious of how it was presented. But this is coming out of the mayor's office, right? Now, their obligation to these asylum seekers, right? Okay, because folks, we have to understand, right? They're painting the picture right now on the Democratic side, Sauce, where all the Republicans, all the MAGA extremists, right? They're inhumane, they're cruel, and they're sending all the migrants to all sanctuary cities. Well, if you think that you want to do the right thing as a sanctuary city, why aren't they doing the right thing, right? Why aren't they taking care of these illegal immigrants? If there's such a sanctuary city, wouldn't they be housing them in, taxpayer type of shelters? Wouldn't they be providing?
Matchmaker.fm is the platform to connect guests with podcasters. Podcasters find your dream guests instantly based on their area of expertise. Filter by location, search based on keywords, and you can even get to know your guests by watching their video pitch. Found someone interesting? No problem. Contact guests instantly via chat and schedule a time to record. No more backwards and forwards via email. It's everything you need to manage your show and tell amazing stories. Guests easily connect with thousands of podcasters who are looking to interview storytellers and experts just like you right now. Easily find podcasts based on their category, location, and more, and pitch them directly within Matchmaker. Book more appearances more quickly and share your wisdom with millions of listeners all over the world. The best part? It's completely free to get started. Just sign up, choose whether you want to create a profile for your podcast or as a guest, or you can do both. Fill out a few details about yourself and you'll be ready to start making those connections within minutes.
No, what are they doing? They're sending them either by bus or by flight to other areas so they don't have to deal with it. Now, get this, Sauce. The obligation that's coming out of the mayor's office in New York City, right? Their obligation is to send these now 11,000 migrants that have arrived since this past May, right? Now, the city says many were sent on buses by Governor Greg Abbott of Texas. And they're saying this is a breaking point. Now, also, that they said that they can't house. The reason, and this is the stupid excuse that they used, the reason why they have to send them out of New York City is because that the city's population has grown by more than 5,000 to nearly 56,000 since this past August 9th. Yeah, I highly freaking doubt it. Highly doubt it. They're more worried about taking care of migrants, Sauce, than homeless people that are living in the city right now.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I like your feedback, and I send you these videos or these clips of people like homeless people out on the street.
Welcome to Minneapolis.
For other sources, and I go through Madison and stuff. It seems like, man, there's gotta be somebody, we have to have some kind of a control, because this is we're having mass tent cities popping up out of blue, out of all these Democratic ran cities. And you explain why, because people are getting evicted, and then instead of getting an opportunity of getting their life back together, and instead of like building lower income housing for individuals that can't get on their feet because of some situation, they're building housing for the illegal immigrants. And you're telling me that they have to bust them out of New York City and out of California because the population's risen? I believe that the population has risen. And I believe that's risen through a massive amount of illegal immigrants. Because I want to kind of want to give you new stats. Within this past year, we have over 1.8 million unregistered undocumented immigrants coming to America. 1.8 million. Now they have come across they vested throughout all the people. They're infecting Wisconsin, for instance, because what Mayor Lightfoot has done is that Evers has opened up his doors to accept 500,000 undocumented immigrants, and we're seeing the impact in our community. We're seeing the impact our grocery stores. We're seeing the impact, and a lot of people that are residents of the city that I live in, they're moving out because they're tired of the impact, and they're tired of being put last, and they're tired of being taxed super heavily. So they're moving out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it shows you, a lack of leadership, right? I mean,
yeah,
terrible. Did you hear, this new push now for Democrats, right? We were introduced to this MAGA Republican term about a few weeks ago, right, by President Joe Schmo. President Biden, guys, it's a joke. Don't melt. It's okay, guys. If you can't take this, I highly suggest that the show is not for you, and maybe you should go get a ho-ho or a Twinkie or something, and maybe you'll like.
Michael and I will both send you a box of tissue. And if you
Kleenex, some Kleenex and some baby wipes or something, right? But now they want to get to this segment here, and literally, if you are on the MAGA circle and you fully support the former president of the country, Donald Trump, right? You are now labeled as a MAGA extremist or a MAGA terrorist.
Yep.
This is the shit that they're pushing, Sauce. This is the crap that they want to push in this country to try to say that we're destructionists, we're extremists, we're evildoers. Because why? Because what? We won't fold under pressure. We will not be loyal to the establishment. We're loyal to our country. We're loyal to the Constitution. We are actually following law and order. And guess what? It eats them up every single day, Sauce. Literally. I see it every single day through mainstream media, through podcasting. It's sick. It's demented. It's like if they can't have their way, they're gonna cry and they're gonna bitch and they're gonna moan and they're not fair and this and why? Is it because half the country right now is leaning towards this MAGA movement? They're afraid, Sauce.
Yeah, and I also want to point out something as well for your listeners. If you watch the funeral for Queen Elizabeth yesterday, guess where Joe Biden was sitting by? Not only was he sitting in the back, but he was sitting like by an exit row. And guess what area he sat by?
The bathroom?
Well, no, he sat by the handicapped people.
Oh, why? Wait, what? Where was he sitting by?
He was sitting by the handicapped people. So like people in wheelchairs and people that had special like needs. I
don't understand I don't understand that part. Why was he doing that?
Your guess is good as mine. Maybe maybe England is telling us something, and that and the other world leaders were sitting up way up closer to like where they could be with the royal family and stuff. And that shows it's a perfect definition of what our country has become.
Yeah,
I'm like, and it's like you can show on the pictures and stuff, and according to the Biden administration and the laughing stock and stuff, we have because it became a safety concern. I mean, that's what the Biden administration said, that the reason why they had to sit in the back and by the handicapped people is because it was closer to, so if something were to happen, they can exit out and stuff. I mean, are you serious? You're telling me that Macron, you're telling me all these other world leaders couldn't, like, they were protected? No, yesterday was the most heavily protected day that England has ever faced, and it was irony at its best, because even the Brits.
So when Biden is flying these people all over the fruited plain in the middle of the night, I didn't hear a peep out of those people. Okay, I didn't hear a peep. I haven't heard a peep about all the people that have been told by Biden you can just come in, and they're being abused by the cartels. They're drowning in the Rio Grande. You had 50 that died.
You can see people screaming, "Let's go, Brandon!" And while he was coming into Queen Elizabeth's funeral, how disgusting is that? Like, they're saying FJB because of the leadership, and people around the world see the failures of Biden, and it's actually funny. And they're realizing it, and they're making mocking of our leadership and mocking of America. And that's why now we're being the puppet of other world countries, and we're the laughing stock. And this is why it's absolutely disgusting.
Well, did you see that they went after? Just last week they went after Mike Lindell.
Yeah, with their subpoena, and now Mike Lindell suing the government.
Yeah, Mike Lindell was on Tucker. I think he was on. What was he on, Tucker or Hannity? Mackenzie.
Both. He was on both.
Yeah, Mackenzie's telling me it was actually on Hannity. He was on Tucker too.
Yeah,
I didn't see him on Tucker.
No, he did a special on Tucker. He did on Fox Nation. You have Tucker Carlson does a special programming on Fox Nation. And he does a special
hold that thought. We actually have a guest coming in. Welcome to the show, Robert. How's it going, buddy? Welcome to Savage Unfiltered.
Hey, Mike. How you doing,
Robert? Good,
yes,
good, man. We can hear you. We're talking about right now the ongoing failures regarding the Biden administration, the enemy of the state, the war on freedom and liberty. We're being called extremist, MAGA extremists. What's your thoughts on that, man?
I think it's pretty funny that every Trump supporter is now labeled an extremist. Just because you like Trump or whatever. It's straight up ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get even a loss for words. Like, what are they thinking? What are they? Just it is bizarre.
Exactly.
Yep. Hello. Did we lose him?
I think Robert, you still with us?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So where are you calling from today, Robert?
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So how's the political specter up in New Jersey today?
What's that?
Oh, no. I said, how's the political specter up in New Jersey today?
Jersey's a strange state. There's a lot of Trump supporters here, but there's still a lot of liberals that cannot stand them, But I see it. I think it's been growing.
Yeah, I'm sorry for cutting in, man. I have to say one thing. What is up with your governor, man? What is Murphy's agenda, man? I keep on seeing, little flippy flop scenarios. I like to call flippy flop because that's what you're seeing from this Democrat regime today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Murphy's got to go. That's for sure. Along with the rest of them freaking liberals.
Yeah, I hear you. We were talking earlier in the show. I want to kind of piggyback off of some of what Soslan in here and I were talking about on the show. We were getting into some abortion topics. What's your thoughts on abortion, man?
Abortion's a touchy subject. I'm not really for abortion, but, God forbid somebody gets raped. Are they forced to keep that baby? If I was a female and somebody raped me, I wouldn't want to have to keep and have that baby. But if you're going to go out and just play around and you get pregnant, well, then you got to deal with it,
But Robert, what do you think about this though? 120 days after the baby's born. That's 4 months after. That's 4 months after the kid is
Yeah,
alive.
that's insane.
Yeah,
that's insanity. I don't believe in late term abortions either. If you really have good reason to do it, you should do it in the very early stages, not wait until late on or after the baby's born. How could you even?
You can't abort a baby after it's born.
Well, they're trying to push that.
You can in California and New York. 60 days after it's born, you can.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yep, and
that's just
Wisconsin,
insane. Their whole fight was, it's not a baby till it's born. It's not a huge.
Well,
and you're doing it while it's born. That's insane.
Well, Robert, in Wisconsin, under this new law that would get passed, the baby wouldn't be called a baby; it would be called a specimen until 4 months.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this is Robert. This is some of the shit that you're seeing from the radical left. I was on the show yesterday with Joseph, the author of Terror Strikes Coming to a City Near You, and Joseph and I touched on this topic very, very briefly. Where he got into saying, if a woman wants to elect an abortion, right? If she wants to go to that avenue, it should only be designated for a woman that had got maybe raped or it was a form of incest. I don't know how you if you agree with those terms, but I kind of go to the same scenario. Like if it's out of the woman's will or out of the woman's, if she didn't, what's the words? Sas, help me out, man. I've been doing this for like the last 7 days and I'm out of breath.
No, you're good.
She didn't consent, there we go. Consent. Thank you, Mackenzie, for the coffee. Jesus Christ, I'm out of it today. If she didn't consent to regular sex, right? Don't you think that she should be eligible for an abortion? Robert? I think we lost him.
I think we lost him.
Yeah.
Robert,
you still with us, buddy? Yeah, I think we lost him. He might be driving or something, and he might be going through a bad spot. So hopefully we get Robert back on the air.
Hello,
Robert. There you are.
Yeah, they were saying I didn't even say that I still have full service here, but
yeah, I don't know if you caught all that, Robert. But what I was saying was like, do you think that the abortion woman that possibly didn't consent to it and it was out of her will?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
A woman shouldn't have to have, why would I don't know, somebody rapes you or you're sexually abused by a family member or something, you get pregnant, that baby's going to be a reminder of that the whole time. Like how do you expect a woman to want to have to go through with the pregnancy after something like that? And that's her choice. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But we're gonna close it out here soon, Robert. I want to get some thoughts here, man. Since I have you on the show, we're getting into this new agenda here as we close it out with the new spurs. Right, the Biden administration seems to be they love sparring against Trump, right, and they're getting into a new agenda right now with Trump. I don't know if you've seen this. I seen this on the Wall Street Journal earlier this morning, with Trump now saying that the FBI agents had no right to go through his bedroom with his dirty, with their dirty boots. The fucking hysteria. Terrible. So, I don't know, man. Do you think the Trump saga, the Mar-a-Lago saga, is pretty much over with? I think, anyway.
Oh,
I think we lost him, Sas. He seems to be going through an area, man, that he's kind of the Wi-Fi, maybe the connection. So it's all right, man.
Oh, I don't think it's over. I think what they're trying to do is that they went after Steve Bannon, and they're going to go after everybody that I think they're going to go after. It's not going to end.
It's not going to end, man. It's
bad.
It is what it is, man. I like I said, I wanted to get Robert's insights with that, but obviously, he's going through a bad area there, and Hey guys, I remember living up in New Jersey. The Wi-Fi sucks. The connection is terrible. Like when you live near, about three major cities like that. You got Philadelphia, you got Newark, New Jersey, you have New York City, Staten Island, friggin' all over the boroughs. You're gonna have some choppy service. I get it. I used to live up there. It used to be terrible. When the beginning of Wi-Fi when it came out. Sauce, I want to make a couple announcements here, man, as we close it out, because I wanted to keep it around like 1:30, 1:35-ish. But tomorrow, guys, I have an announcement here. Tomorrow, we're going to be on Remember God Loves You, and I'll meet you at the finish line. We're supposed to be doing a sports podcast with Sauce. Sauce, we're still on for that, right, man?
So there's gonna be
it's changes, Tommy. Okay.
sorry about that. Okay. I promise you, I'm trying to get like a representative, Eric Olson, running for the 2nd district. And we're gonna. So what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try and mix it up. I'm going through changes right now. And we're gonna remember God loves you, and we're still gonna do the daily devotions. We're still gonna have guests on, but I'm gonna try to do them more frequently and different.
Wait, hold on, Sauce. Hold on. I have to clear this up so everything is on record here. Okay, you said you're going through changes. You're not going through like those type of changes, are you?
No, no.
I made it funny. God,
no, that's funny. No, that's funny.
But yeah,
So we're gonna add more content. So what I mean by changes is that we're gonna add more content. So like, so remember God loves you. And I'll meet you at the finish line. It's gonna do a Sports Tuesday. So it's gonna be called Saucy's Sport Analysis or Sports Perspective with Sauce on or Saucy's or remember Sports Tuesday, and then Wednesday is gonna be Thursday is gonna be just the debrief on Friday. So like and it won't go in effect until like next week when you and I are together. So it'll be the Sport Debrief Friday will kick off on our time together when you land in Milwaukee. And stay tuned. And speaking of Milwaukee, if you guys see us in Milwaukee, if you also see us like in anytime soon, like from the journey from Milwaukee to Detroit, Michigan, where we would be attending President Trump rally, don't hesitate. Swing by. Say hi.
Yeah, and bear with Sauce because he's like back and forth with like trying to get the shows titled here for the sports. We get it, Sauce.
Sorry about that.
You got to get the title, man, correct.
Come on,
title. You got like 5 titles in one. It's great though. I love it. But also too, guys, two more announcements, and then we're gonna close it out because Sauce needs to get going. I need to get going. Mackenzie told me I have to get to Walmart to pick up a few things. Yeah. Mackenzie's the producer of the show. She's also my girlfriend, so I have to listen to her, right? Yes, darling. But I want to get into one announcement here, guys. Join us on the 29th of this month. It's going to be literally the day before I leave the head up north. We're going to have the re-invite, right? We're re-inviting the Therapy Twins back on the show. Yes, Joan and Jane, known as the Therapy Twins. They're full of comedy. They're full of humor. Oh, how are you, Robert? We're closing it out, man. Thank you for coming back in. If you can just hold that thought for 1 second, sir. I have to make an announcement, but 1 second, buddy.
Yeah,
so again on September 29th, as we will have the Therapy Twins back on the show. Like I said, guys, they're full of humor. Full of comical relief, funny as hell, raunchy as hell though, but funny. Robert, we're gonna be closing out, man. I thank you for your commitment, trying to get back on the connection. But you have thoughts, man, as we close it out?
Yeah, I was on the road and then I lost signal and then I had to redo the whole thing.
But, all right. But we're gonna close it out, man. You have any final thoughts as we close it out?
Yeah, Trump 2024.
Yes.
God bless you, man. God bless you. Guys, you heard myself, Michael Gardner. This is Soslan Timison from his show, Remember God Loves You, and I'll meet you at the finish line. And then also joining us here on the panel as a call-in was Robert McLinn. Thank you very much, Robert, for joining us, buddy.
Anytime, Michael. Sorry we got disconnected. But,
oh, it's okay. It's
always a
okay.
pleasure.
And yes, guys, we'll see you tomorrow for a very, very special episode. We're going to be covering music, the era of music. You're going to want to tune into that. We're going to be covering 70s, 80s, 90s, just about everything, guys. Thank you for tuning in.